I'm live. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. All right, we are here. I It has been a morning. Didn't get as good a sleep last night as I normally get, and I got some leg issues going on, and it is a thing. But I'm present, and you might be present, and I thank you for that. And regardless, whether or not anybody shows up, it doesn't really matter because what it's about today is me showing up for myself, doing what I'm committed to, and stepping into my path and my vision for my life so I can go out there and lead by example and do what it is that I'm called to do. We all get to have choices in our lives and things that take place, turn us a little bit more that we want to have happen, and we get to ride through those experiences and grow from them. And sometimes things go the way we want them to go, and sometimes they don't. And that's just part of it. And for me, one of those things was is being responsible for the things that I've done. You know, uh, I get to show up in my life. You get to show up in your life. We get to do what it is that we're called to do each and every day, and we get to make choices, and they have an impact in the experience that we get to have in this world and in our life. And for myself, I have a high level of uh, performance. I have expectations that I have for myself of how I show up and what I do and how that looks. And I expect that I act and behave and do all the things correct in my life because uh, that's what I expect myself. I don't usually allow myself, and I don't often have opportunities that come up that I am unhappy about. But that I take responsibility when I make choices that aren't necessarily the best and that aren't what I want them to be. And so I'm here now talking about you know making those choices, and we get to own up for the things that happen. Sometimes they're going to be great. Sometimes those things are going to pay off and be what it is that you want them to be. And sometimes those things are going to be negatively impacting you, and they could have consequences that you may not have initially planned on and stuff, and thought that that's you're going to be going through, but that they do have that, and as being responsible for that stuff, as opposed to being a victim to whatever happened, you get to then hold them in. I get to hold them in for myself. And so, one of the things that's going on with this group, one of the things we're working on is being the best versions of ourselves. And one of the hard parts about being the best version of you and in your life and leading by that example, sometimes you get to do things that don't feel good, that aren't happy and joyful, and definitely don't um, lead you down that path of having what it is that you want. Um, and so, in my life, had an incident yesterday, and not happy, not excited about what happened and stuff. And I made some choices. I reacted in a moment, and that reaction, unfortunately, may have consequences and stuff. It was I was upset, and I let some of my feelings get ahead of me, and I made some comments, and that's okay. It is what it is, and it's what happened, and to be responsible for that, how do you take responsibility? And what is the power of having that responsibility in your life? I get to take that responsibility for myself and on myself because um, I expect better, and I get to apologize to the people that I made comments to and about, and who were around when I was doing it. Um, I'm Not sure what's going on. I don't know. Anyways, I made those comments. It happened. It's part of life, and I got to keep going and moving forward from that. So I'm no longer, you know, I was upset. I must have over it last night. I was thinking about it quite a lot. I woke up in the middle of the night, was thinking about it, and I'm letting it go. I'm gonna take responsibility today. I'm gonna send out a couple emails and take accountability for choices that I made, and I'm recommitting. I'm recommitting to something better, something different. If that ever happens and comes up in my life again, what will I choose in place of the actions that I did that time? And I'm committing to myself and everybody else that if and when that situation arises, how will I handle that and do it in a different way? And how will everybody know that I am doing that stuff? So if that situation ever shows up again in the future, I should hope it doesn't, but if it does, then I will not react that way. I will just suck it up, cheer on, and focus on what it is that I can do right then to make that stuff happen for myself and for my family, and be that positive role model that I expect for me to make this happen. And so that's what I'm committed to. That's what I'm focused on going forward now, so that way I can live that life for me and for my son and be that example. Now, when I make a poor choice, when I do something that that hurts somebody else or hurts me and doesn't fulfill my expectation and my vision and what I'm committed to going forward for me and my family, then I get to acknowledge that it happened, right? Acknowledge that I made that choice. That, speak it out loud, talk about it. Hey, this happened. It's not what I wanted to have happen. This is not how I wanted to go. I made a choice, and I took action that I'm not proud of, and I want to acknowledge that happened and took place, and I want to apologize. I want to let you know, and not I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A real apology. I apologize for this happening. This being what transpired for me and for us, and this is and why we are here right now. And then commit to something different. Commit to something different that provides an opportunity for everybody else to know what it is that I'm committed to, and me to know and have a clear picture of what that looks like, so I can then be held responsible in my own right and by other people for what it is I'm committed to. So that's going on. That's what I'm doing today, and I hope that it's received well. And if it's not, that's about them on their choice at that point in time, and I get to put out there for myself that I am doing the right choices on my own to make that happen, and I am putting out the effort and the focus on showing up in the way that I get to show up and living the life that I choose to live, which is a life of accountability and responsibility and forward focus on how I move forward and do things in the future. That sometimes things get away, sometimes things happen, and when those do happen, you get to then move and go forward. And so one of the things today I'm going to do, I'm going to send out a couple of emails, a couple of messages to some people, and get them out there. But that, it doesn't get in the way of my mission that I have today, and I have a mission. So I want to get into that. I think I talked yesterday on here, and I've talked quite a bit that one of the big things with kids or dads is we are stepping into our power as a dad to be the men that we are called to be for ourselves and our families in this world. And we get to step up and be that light, that focus for how these things take place and what we do moving forward. And so I'm committed to doing that in my life. I'm committed to supporting everybody having that in their lives also. And one of the things that I've done is that in my school community that we're doing, I'm going to have some of these things on the Kids That Serve Dads page too that I'm going to update, but that I have a weekly planner. I like to print it off. I typed it in first, obviously, and then I printed it, and then I color coded it so I could keep track really easily of what I am intending to do that week, and then I marked them off. And a weekly tracker is great, but a daily tracker helps you out to organize the day, specifically when you get to do. So I do mine usually in the morning over some coffee, and that's what we're doing today. I got coffee. It's probably still hot though. And it's Thursday, and Thursday today, my Redskins are playing. Some people call them Commanders, whatever. And I am sporting my team's mug today. And so on each and every day, I make a new schedule. So here's my one from yesterday that I have, and I put in there and I put in what I'm going to be working on, the action steps that I'm taking today to make the things happen that I want in my life, that I'm committed to having, so I can go out there and enjoy this experience and have an opportunity to grow and build the life of my dreams. So I'm going on here right now, and I log in here and I do it. And so I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to make my schedule right now. I'm going to take the time to put it together and really think about what it is that I want. And then I'm spending some time and I'm reading. So I have that going on here, and then I'm going to read some of my book, The Intentional Father. I'm just about to finish up chapter 2. I put it down last night. I'm almost complete with it. I'll have chapter 2 done this morning, and I'll finish chapter 3 this morning also. It's been a really good book, and my son was here, and we're going through it on the page right now. Ooh, we're talking about it. My son and I, he goes, there's in the book, he says there's 5 different types of fathers. And if you're on this page, I'm guessing that nobody is the first father without a doubt. Nobody on this page, I would almost guarantee, is the first father, but that there's 5 fathers. And I thought it was kind of interesting. And then I spent some time with my son, and we talked about it last night. And he was like, Dad, you're the 5th father. And I was like, thanks, son. You know what? I think that if someone's going to judge me, although he might be being nice, and that's a thing, but I think if someone's going to judge me and tell me where I'm showing up, it would be him. And I sure hope that he feels connected enough with me that he could be honest with me if I wasn't. Whew. Oh, morning time. Good morning, guys. It's hard when you don't get good night's sleep. 5 types of fathers, right? Irresponsible father, the ignorant father, the inconsistent father, the involved father, and the intentional father. And we all get to be one, right? You're going to be a father of some sort throughout your life, and you get to choose which one you show up as. And my belief is that probably most of the guys that are on this page, most of the guys that are part of this experience, are guys that are involved, most likely, maybe inconsistent, right? Most of us are probably in that realm, where we're there, we're showing up, we're trying to be part of it, but we don't have time. The irresponsible father, that's somebody who's like it's a deadbeat dad, right? That'd be the deadbeat. The guy doesn't show up. The guy doesn't do anything. He's not involved. He has no responsibility. He doesn't pay child support. He doesn't do anything for his kids. He is completely and utterly out of the experience and not there on any level for his kids. I would be seriously, you may not get to see your kids, and you may not get to spend time with your kids because of circumstances that are out of your control. And it's not by your intention and your design. And so you would not be a irresponsible father. And then as an ignorant father, that's somebody who's out there causing problems. They're drinking too much. They're doing things that are going to hurt themselves or hurt their kids, and not really thinking about what it is that they're doing and possessing. And then there's the inconsistent father. This guy's torn between his personal stuff in his life, the things that he really wants for himself, and him showing up and doing fathering things. So maybe it's someone who's like, I really like to play softball, and my whole summer is about me and my softball, and that's the priority I have. And my kids could play baseball. That's true. But you know what? I like softball, and my kid doesn't get to play baseball because I want to play softball. And so mine comes first. And I work too much in the wintertime because I'm busy and I need to pay for my softball tournaments. And so in the wintertime, I have to be working 60 hours a week so I could travel and do all my softball. And because of that, then my kids don't get to spend time with their dad. I don't get to build a relationship, and I don't get to know who they are. And then the other one after that is the involved father. And this is the guy who shows up. They come to all the sporting events. They are present. They do a lot of the things right. Their business life and their failures, they take responsibility, but they don't really get to know their kids. They're there, they're enjoying it. It's like maybe a guy that signs his kid up for baseball, right? And the kid hates baseball. And I'm playing baseball right now. My new team that I coach with and stuff. The guy's cool, and Cody, he gave me a hat. I don't know why my focus is just off bad, but that father will, like, the kid doesn't like baseball, but that you still keep signing him up, hoping that maybe because you want him to play, that he's going to want to play. But the kid just wants to play the guitar, all he wants to do is just be a guitar player and jam out to guitar, or, I don't know, ride his bike all day. Man, if he could have all the things he wanted, he would just be hanging out in his backyard or around the neighborhood, ride his bike. And that's what he loves. And that's what he wants to do. But because the dad wants him to do it, he's got him doing that. He's showing up in every other way, but he's just not being attentive to the desires and needs that his kid has and helping him shape his life for him. And so it's about the dad still and not about the kid. And that's the involved father, because he's still there. He's still doing things with him, just not being there for his kid. And then the intentional father. And my son actually referenced a couple of things that were in here, which I thought was, he's very intuitive. We spent a lot of time talking about things like this. And so it was fun to have him say to me the same kind of stuff that I believe to be true also. And maybe he parrots it. That is a possibility. And I truly believe that he actually really feels this way because I show up in this way. And this is that I'm deeply interested and invested in him having a joyful and fun experience in his life. And so, knowing that, like, I got him a guitar, and we got a guitar for him and stuff, and he's been kind of wanting to play it, but not really. And he said, I want to play baseball. I like baseball. And I was like, son, you're going to get to play baseball. That's part of your life. You're in football right now. You're doing the football practice and stuff. But the baseball, I got you a baseball or a guitar because baseball ends. Baseball won't be around forever. It will go away. And when it does go away and is no longer part of your life because these are team sports, or you get to be 45 and, I could still probably play softball right now, but it's not the same. And I want to be there for my son. So I'm not playing softball. But you're going to get to show up. And so we had a full discussion about, like, the value of learning to play an instrument and what it could mean in his life, not just for right now, but that for the rest of his life. And if he learns how to play guitar now and he can play it for the rest of his life, he could have a lifetime of joy and experience, and people will want to hang out and enjoy him playing guitar. And even if you don't want to hang out, he could sit around by himself and enjoy playing his guitar. And he's taken that to heart. We've discussed, like, doing lessons and stuff, and baseball and football are over here. Baseball's over here in a couple weeks. Football's over in a month. And so there's not a lot of time left. And then he's got a few months before he gets into wrestling and basketball, most likely. And before those two things start, he gets a chance to maybe dive into some lessons, do some swimming. And so it's really powerful to think that that's what's out there, and to have him recognize that I show up in a way that I am trying to build his life and also listening to the things that he says that he wants and needs to grow. And so long-winded, that's the power that I got from this book. That's the power that you can get from a book like this also. And that's why we read, right? It's just a chance to reflect. Can I have watched it in a video? Yeah, you can watch it in a video. I'm sure this guy's got a video, and I actually know that he made a course that is really pretty cool, and I might sign up for it. But it's a Primal Path. It's fathers raising sons, and it sounds a lot like The Modern Day Knight, which is a book that I read and that we should talk about one day. But it's really about how do we help our kids grow up in this society with courage and character and confidence and a understanding of who it is that they are and what does a life look like that they want to live, and that they do it not haphazardly and on accident or through trial and error and circumstance and circumstance driven through their life, but that they do it with intention, that they have a vision of what this life looks like for them, and that they go out there and they choose it each and every day, and that they live that they be that person all the time. And so when I think about those things, how do I show up for my son to give him that opportunity? And then I do that with him through this. And so really pretty powerful, really just great to have that chance to reflect and to have that discussion with my son about the book that I'm reading. And he's reading The Way of the Warrior Kid. And if you haven't had your kids read, especially your boys read, Jocko Willink's books, The Way of the Warrior Kid is a fantastic book. Incredible story about a kid overcoming adversity and challenges and stepping into his power and taking control of his life. And that's what we get to do each and every day in our lives, that we don't get to be victims to the circumstances that we are presented with, that we are finding ourselves in. We get to choose our path through the storm each and every day to live the life that we're called to live. And that there are going to be things in the way, things that will happen. And sometimes you're going to choose the right path. And sometimes you won't. And sometimes you're going to make mistakes. And sometimes you're going to show up in a way that you're not proud of. And in those circumstances and instances, you get to acknowledge what happened, apologize for the way that you showed up that doesn't meet with your character and expectations for yourself, and that you set for yourself for the community or in the actions you're taking. And then you get to go out there and recommit and go forward again. Because yes, you made a mistake. Sure, you weren't perfect, and we're not Jesus. So we get to have that grace, and we get to go out there and recommit to what it is we say we want to do. And how, if that happens again in your life, how do you handle it to get the results you want? And so I'm committed to that in my life. I am focused on making that happen. And I've gone out there and done it. And I'm going to do the actions today. I'm going to put it out there, and I hope that they are well received and taken, and that nobody has harm feelings, and we can go forward and move forward in this experience into the rest of our lives in a way that just makes everything better for us and for the kids, because that's what it's all about. And so it's a learning lesson. And my son got to watch his dad in action, being imperfect, and then apologizing, acknowledging it, and then moving forward. And I apologized to him, and I didn't apologize to everybody else that was there in that experience. And I get to do that today. So I'm committed to making that action. That's part of my day. And I'm committed to showing up in a way that meets my visions for myself, and that I want to lead by the example for not only me and not just for my son, but for everybody else that I come in contact with. So I want to thank you for that time today. Thank you for being on here. I'm making my calendar up today. Hey, if you're not part of the school community, I still didn't do it because I was busy yesterday and I had a lot of things going on. It's still free. So go on, join the school community, check it out. Everything like this is free on there. You can go on there and download it and have a part of it. But that's where this stuff's going to be at going forward. The school community is Epic Dad Life of Excellence. It is a heck of a cool place with a couple really cool guys. We got like 30 guys in there right now. And the expectation is to keep growing it and doing more things. People are being involved and engaging with each other. And we're out there trying to make a difference for ourselves and for everybody else. So wish you guys all the best. I hope you have a fantastic day. And go make it great, man. Go do all the things that you need to do today, and leave it all out there. Put your life on the line, and you're going to feel so excited and proud and maybe tired at the end, and it's all going to be worth it. So anyways, thank you guys. Talk to you soon.